Okay, everyone, so hear me out. I have a theory that Pythus is the way he is because of Chronos. So, give me a moment to rant, or yap, and on with the show. But first, let me clarify something. I am not here today to claim that Chronos was a horrible father or bad father in any way. I'm just here theorizing to the ways his teachings could have went very wrong with Pythus. That's all. Anyways, on with the actual show. So one of my theories on why Pythus became how he is because Chronos may have favored Vulcanus over Pythus, because Vulcanus had a lot more love for Chronos, unlike Pythus, who, from what I can tell, hated his father so much that he was so willing to kill him just like that. No remorse, and he felt nothing but complete joy, and even calling his own father a disgrace. My theory is that Pythus had some level of obsession with his family's legacy, and I believe, well, there's at least a good amount of chance that it was Chronos who taught him his family's history. And why am I sure it's Chronos? Because in families, it's usually the parents who tells the history of their family, not other people. So it would make a lot of sense for it to be coming from his father, since, well, Chronos was the king of the Nether. Also, something I forgot to mention is Chronos may have also favored Vulcanus a lot more over Pythus due to Vulcanus being the heir to the throne instead of Pythus. So yeah. And also, another reason and theory that could explain why Pythus is the way he is probably his mother Philia. And for Songs War fans who don't remember who I'm talking about, or just straight up confused, let me give you a quick recap on who Philia. Philia is the wife of Chronos. That is it. Anyways, from what we can tell, she is probably dead by the events of Songs of War, and probably by the events of the Great War, because, well, as you all can tell, she never shows up in Songs of War, only being mentioned in the behind the scenes. So my theory is that after she died, or whatever happened to her, Chronos may have become emotionally distant from his children, which could have caused a lot of resentment within Pythus against his own father, which could explain why he was also so willing to execute his father on the spot. And Chronos' retreat would have probably been the final straw with Pythus, unlike with Vulcanus. And also, here's something that I wanted to mention but didn't know how to properly fit. I was looking at the description, well, the casting call for Chronos. I ended up noticing something very interesting, including Pythus as well. It is mentioned that in his info part that he was well known for being feared, ruthless, and cold, which, depending on how you look at it, could be evidence of, well, whatever happened to Philia, which could support my theory that he kind of emotionally distanced himself from his children. And for Pythus, it mentioned that he picked up on his father Cruel's side, which could imply that he was a bear witness to his father's cruelty, or could be a result of his frustration of any emotional abandonment from Chronos. And also, it mentioned his desire for power and control, which I actually have another theory, and real life theory, on why that is. And my theory is Pythus had to follow some very strict rules while growing up. And the reason I think this is because he's part of a royal family, and Songs of War take place in a medieval setting. So it would make sense, since during this time, people like princes and princesses, well, unlike how they showed in cartoons, didn't actually have that much power, especially princesses. And even though Pythus would, technically speaking, have a little bit more power than a princess, he would still have to follow some strict rules, which probably could have led him to dream of the idea of having his own freedom and controlling others, because his own childhood, he had to basically follow some strict rules, specifically the monarchy's rules, and didn't have as many freedoms as most people, which could explain why he would have a desire for control, since he wants to control his own fate. He didn't want to be controlled by anybody else, not anymore. So yeah, that's basically all for my theory. Sorry about the rambling and cohesiveness. Anyways, that's Deltheus. This has been Deltheus, and I'm signing out.
going